Jesse Jackson said, I am somebody. But in truth, Jesse was telling us to lie about ourselves. To be a somebody is to be a liar, a thief, and a fraud. So what's the truth? The truth is, I am nobody. You said, I can't be nobody. Well, until you realize you are nobody, you will forever suffer, have pain, and even wind up dead. Join us and see if being nobody is really your ticket to paradise. This is Who Am I? Who am I?
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I?
Who?
Who?
Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute.
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 Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute and truth. That's our purpose.
Who am
Hey, what's going on? Hey, go. All right, y'all. All right. Yeah, we got a bunch of bodies here, eh? Oh, we got a question there. All right? Because it seems so real, you know, that I am somebody, all right? And you are somebodies. And that we take as the basis of what we call reality, okay? And not very few people get you to question that. Religions don't ask you to really question that, although they do say, some of them, that, you know, when your body dies, you know, your soul or some entity goes somewhere, all right? But you got to say, this thing that I call me, is it really me? All right? See, we have something that says, this came out of a woman, okay? Joan and I came out of the same woman. We call a mother, all right? And we say one body produces another body, that there are two finite existences. Yeah,
I have a question. So how can you tell the difference between the me, the mind, versus the spirit that the pastor or whoever is talking about?
What you mean?
Is the mind and the spirit the same thing? Are those two separate entities? Or how does that,
Well,
how do you know the difference between the
if
two?
you mean mind, like omniscience, all right, all-knowing, then all-knowing and spirit are omniscience, mind, you know, infinite mind, all right, is the same as, you know, spirit, all right? However, if you mean the human mind, all right,
That's the one
that
I'm talking
thinks,
about.
all
That you
right,
think with.
I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
See, it has to have an object, all right? That I think, you got to have an objective world. There's a subject. See, when you wake up in the morning, you say, okay, for sure you know you exist. And then you say, I exist as a black man, a black woman, a teacher, a preacher, or whatever. You add on to I am, all right? And that's the mind that tells you to do that. Because it has to have something called something else other than I, all right? See, the body essentially says that you are outside of me. You're over there, okay? And I'm here. And the body will verify that there's a here and a there. There's an inside and an outside. But can you have an inside of God and an outside of God? No. Well, you look in Genesis, all right? There was this God who had something outside of him. The whole Bible is based on that, all right? The Quran is based on that. All your ologies are based on that because it comes from the mind and not from spirit, all right? That's why you got to ask, what is this I that says I am? Dr. Street, and then Gloria.
I'd like to at least start with that primary quick starter question. What if you knew that you were nobody without a form? Would you have anything to be concerned about?
No.
Would you be concerned about making money, being in the right relationship, dying, going to heaven or hell? Would you even need a God to worship?
What do you say?
I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah, right.
I will go somewhere out of the box with this one.
Okay.
In my book, I put 0. When you zero yourself, diminish the self as we know it, then that's where the all begins. Because anything that we see in the world, whether it's in numerology or whatever it is, if it has a leading number, if zeros are behind it, that speaks the volume. So I'm going to go from that mathematical standpoint since you made me answer the question.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. See, you got to understand what this is.
No thing.
All right.
Love it.
See, nothing is not like an absence, a void. Although in Genesis, I think it said God saw a void and they started creating it or something like that. Okay. But this means no thing.
No thing.
All right. That there isn't anything. There's only is. But that which is a no thing. All right? It has no boundaries around it. It has no form, no dimension. All right? You can call it spirit. All right? But we usually take spirit and give it a form. Casper the Friendly Ghost or something. You know, or your spirit floats up into heaven. All right? It can be located and then, you know, goes somewhere. But can that which is non-dimensional go nowhere or any place? Okay, yeah, you had a follow-up?
So I guess it would be safe to say that if we can get into this where we understand that we're nobody now, then all these other things that formulate that question will be eliminated.
Yes.
And it is.
Yes. See, the only reason why you think that you have a problem is because you think you're somebody.
Exactly.
All right? If you were nobody, all right, had no form, like we were just saying, no dimension, how could you have a problem? All right? You're the only existence. All right? You are all. And all can't have a problem. Can God have a problem?
No.
No. Why not? Why can't God have a problem?
Because there's only God.
Right. But so what you gonna do with Addie?
It doesn't matter.
0.
That's the zero. Make you into a nothing. But you were already. See, you got to get clear who I am. I'm not Alan Carter, a body that came out of Ruth Carter. I don't have a sister named Joan or a brother named Bobby or whoever. Okay? I am that I am. I'm totally invisible. I'm formless. I am non-dimensional. All right? And that goes against human mind. All right? Because the human mind says, I got to have a thing, something that has a form. All right? I even make a God. All right? I think Gloria, then Joan, and then Addie.
Well, this is maybe a little off, but it's still with the body. That in my yoga class, one of the principles that is taught and repeated often is, I am not my body, I have a body. That's still not the truth because it's still giving credence to this form, to this body.
Yeah, that's a sneaky way to slide through the back door. Okay? Because the human mind does not want to give it this identification as a body, mind, a personality. And this personality is connected with, this body. All right? Everything this personality has, I say I'm a black man. I grew up in, Normal, Alabama and so forth, went to council training, right, John? All of that, okay? But that's a body experience, all right? But I have to bring it back. Can God have that experience? Can God grow up in Normal, Alabama and go to Morehouse and so forth and so on? Can God do that? No. Then if God can't do it, then Allen can't do it. Because God is all. So where is Allen?
So why can't God do it?
Because God then will have to be finite in a body.
Oh,
You can locate God
for him
then.
to go to school.
Huh?
For him to go to Morehouse.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, everybody knows Morehouse men are gods. But no, seriously, but then you're now bringing God into the human, to the finite world. And that's what we've done. That's why we always have a God, call it Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, Zeus, Apollo, or whatever. we have now taken the infinite and made it finite, and then we say we can worship it. Okay? You know, I think there's a one that supposedly Moses, notice I said Moses' commandments. They're not God's. They're Moses' commandments. Actually, there's 613 of them. All right? But one of them says, it's about idolatry. Okay? That you shouldn't worship. Come on, Dr. Street, you're the one who knows. Yeah, but about idolatry being a sin and all of that, okay? Or even in Islam, if you draw a picture of Allah or Muhammad, you in trouble, all right? But the words they're saying, it's not a form. But then again, they make it into a concept, which means they limit it, because they got to have Muhammad who received the word from God. Muhammad could receive a word from God. Just like Jesus cannot be the Son of God. Impossible. If that's true, then God is limited. Do you get that? And once you limit God, you got him into a form. All right? I know this sounds blasphemous, and it is. Okay? But you got to question it. All right? You got to know what's true. And the only way you can know what's true is you got to question everything. John.
Then what happens with existence? Does existence have to go find a body? I remember years ago, there was a movie called Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I didn't see it. That's one of them scary movies.
Yeah.
I don't like scary movies.
I mean, and I'm sitting up here thinking, well, this existence, nobody, what have you, in order for it to exist, does it have to go find a body and take over that body?
Well, see, that's your assumption is, the premise is that it has to go get something. It's incomplete. How can infinity go anywhere, number one? And number two, what would it need to complete it?
Well, and then that's why I said, well, what is existence then?
All. This is all. This is absolute truth. All is. That's absolute truth. Okay?
So there's nothing else.
Nothing else. But see, we have to make God and something else. And that something else that we make is, of course, me. Okay? And then I can worship a God. But we don't want to give God all the honor, all the glory, all the power. How else they say in church? All the honor, glory, power, whatever. We want to say, save something for me. Okay? And then I can worship a God. All right? But God is, we don't want God to be omnipresent. That means nowhere absent. Okay? But we got to have God absent somewhere so I can be somewhere. Okay? Okay, Addie and then Harry.
Well, the thing that keeps popping into my mind as we go through these questions is, does any of it really matter?
No. For anything to matter, it would have to be important. And if you have something important, you have to have something that's not important. Okay? So, in other words, you're now making a relative type thing and condition. So no, I mean, all a God doesn't matter. It's not like God is better than Satan. God, truth is better than a lie. There ain't no such thing as a lie. That's just truth. All right? And all is. That's the only thing is. Yeah.
Well, with these questions, I think that we have to guard ourselves against the cemetery owners.
Huh?
If we're talking about we're not a body.
Yeah,
They might not like that.
Yeah, they're putting them out of business. Okay? We're putting the weight control people out of business. Okay?
Yeah.
Doctors out of business.
Yeah.
Okay, everything here out of business.
Hey.
Psychologists out of business. But yeah, I mean, because there's only heaven. Heaven is perfect. But heaven is not a place. Heaven is just a recognition of infinite perfection.
It's so freeing.
Yes.
It feels so good.
Yes.
It's the only thing that is free.
Yeah.
Okay? The only thing is free is God, a truth. They say the truth sets you free. The truth is freedom. Okay? It's the only thing that is freedom. Harry.
I say first, I think when I'm thinking. So
Okay.
I find it very compacted and dense. So I'll try to keep it as simple as possible.
Okay.
Because we're acknowledging that we want to get to absolute truth, but we're also focusing and honing in with our human minds on this body. So I think of some things we talked about before. being that a body is a form. I'm not necessarily speaking on a human body, but like how we talked before, even a thought is the first form.
Right.
And so the absolute truth is the formless.
Right.
So if the mind is a compacted, dense, whatever form of thought forms, I'm always trying to get to the experiential thing, like you said, is recognition to really have the experience.
Yeah.
So since you cannot conceive of no thing, it makes it virtually impossible, if not all impossible, to think about. So the question I have is how can we experience no thing without being clogged by the thinking that happens when we try to recognize something we know is impossible to recognize?
Okay, I think I saw Sharon. Did you want to respond to it?
It's about being. It's about being that which you truly are, which is all. And in order to do that, you have to let go of the idea, what we've been talking about all morning, that I am somebody, that I exist, that I am something. And as Dr. Carter said, then there's no room for Sharon. So when there's no room for Sharon, what's left? All. And all bees. All doesn't think, all doesn't do, all just is. Therefore, you're everything all at one time. And that's all there is. If you think you're going to experience something, there's nothing to experience. There's just being, all at once. Everything, completely.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Now, I don't disagree with that. But still, we all know, okay, we're acknowledging all and being it, regardless if we want to or not. But we do know that when we leave here, we'll be thinking about how to get back to wherever our next destination is. We're gonna be thinking about how to feed our children or stay in touch with our families. So how do we blend in this being, or do we not have to think about that?
You don't.
We just
you
let the
don't
ball
have to.
roll.
That's part of the illusion.
Out of the door.
See, that's the Jedi mind trick.
Okay.
The Jedi mind trick is that as long as I think I'm somebody, then I've got something to do. I've got something to accomplish. I've got somewhere to go. But in letting go of all of that, everything already is. Because I'm not attached to this physicality. I'm not attached to this space, this time, this location. I just am. Whatever that is, all that is. So the problems, our issues, all come because we think we're somebody. We think we have something to do. We think we need to be someplace. We think that we exist instead of letting it all go. And our dream state, you just are. You don't. One of the questions is, what if there was no space? Where would you place your body? Miss Addie asked the question earlier, where would you place your body? It's you that's got this body. It's you that's holding on to this idea that I'm a body, I'm a something, I'm a someplace located here now, black woman, short, whatever it is. It's me, Sharon. That has nothing to do with who I am. Does that make any sense?
Truly a genius.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Right. Amen. Yeah. Addie, were you complete on that,
I'm
Harry?
complete as humanly possible.
With his body intact.
With your thinking mind, right? I love it.
A little while ago, you said you were a black man.
No, I say as a human, I think I'm a black man.
Oh, okay.
And I was conditioned as that.
But I just want to say that the blood is still red.
Huh?
So it doesn't mean color, no
Scratch. It doesn't matter what color you are on the outside, because your blood is the same as his blood.
Yeah, but does God have any blood?
Point of view.
God doesn't have a body.
Right.
No,
So,
so
but
God
see,
doesn't have
again, we just as Sharon was talking to Harry, with this idea called I'm a human, I'm somebody, it is basic to every thought you have. But see, and that's how you're thinking now as a human. Even though it sounds nice, very idealistic, that like, can we all get along type thing, but that's still a we. There ain't no such thing as we. There's only I, okay? I'm the only one. Now, you don't think I'm talking about Alan Carter, okay? I am the way, the truth, and the light. Not Jesus. I am. And there's only one I, all right? I am that I am. And that I is infinite. And that excludes Alan Carter, Addie, and Jesus. All right? If Jesus thought that he was a Messiah coming to do some cleanup work, that God wanted to have done, all right, because his people didn't act right, then Jesus, as Sharon would say, was caught up in the Jedi trick. All right? If he thought that he needed to die for somebody's sins, that God knew of evil or something that he wasn't, then God is not infinite. You see what I'm saying? Again, this sounds blasphemous, and it is. But what you have to do is realize, I think I used the analogy of going to Chattanooga. All right? If you are, let's say, using the analogy, Hitler is 100 miles from Chattanooga. All right? And let's say maybe Jesus was a mile from Chattanooga. All right? But neither one of them is in Chattanooga because only God can be Chattanooga in this example. All right? Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
You know, even when Jesus was on the cross and he said, whatever it was in Aramaic, but why hast thou forsaken me? Or in Aramaic, it was for this purpose am I here. It was like he was still referring to himself as a body.
Right.
Who had a mission to fulfill.
Yes. And he was still caught in the
And he's
Jedi
still
trick of the
caught,
mind.
yes.
Right? Jesus, see, where is Jesus now?
Here.
Right here. He's just a thought within me. All right? There ain't no Jesus in heaven. Where is heaven? It's a thought within me. All right? It's all a thought. Now, where did the thought come from? All right? It can't come from anywhere. If it's true, only a lie can come from something. Because a lie has to have a beginning and an end. The infinite cannot have a beginning or an end. All right? So when you say where is something, if it exists, it has to exist here and now. Because that's all that there is. All right? And the only thing that's here and now is the awareness of here and now. And that's I, of me. And there's only one. But don't hear it like, again, I'm talking like a person called Allen. Or if Jesus thought that he was talking about a person named Jesus. All right? If he was caught in the human mind. All right? He should have been sitting in this class right now if he would thought that. All right? And began to say, now is that true? That's what you should be doing right now. Is what we're talking right now about, is it true? I know it may offend you. I understand that. It offended me when I first thought about it and heard about it. All right? I was a good Christian. All right? Yeah, I know you're laughing. No, I'm not a Christian. Neither was Jesus. Okay?
Neither was Jesus.
Right, he wasn't a Christian.
Yeah.
All right? They made that up. All right?
He was gone.
Yeah, many years after he died, I suppose. He was a Jewish boy. All right? But I mean, even that wasn't true. He wasn't even, if he knew what was true, he would know that there's only I that I am. All right? And I know this is hard to get. Because as Harry was asking, it's like I think I'm living in this world. I got to go to Kroger, and I got my mortgage to pay, and I got, all those human things to do. I understand that, all right? And as Sharon was saying, there will be enough. It's like the lilies of the field. Okay, when Jesus was supposedly talking about that parable, they will be taken care of. And the human mind says, no, I don't have enough money for my rent, my car note, whatever, okay? That's all fear-based, and that's psychology. Were you next or who was next? Was anybody for, okay, Raphael.
Yeah, Dr. Carter. So what I see and perceive is that the human mind, in order for us to feel, not to feel, but to be, just like Sharon, what you said, to be there. I believe that it is a process of awareness that bring us into the being and also bring us into the stillness. And we use the vibration of the breath to get us into the nothing, which is receiving that enlightenment.
Yeah, yeah. If you start off as a human, you are starting off that there's some place to get to. Okay. I mean, just even for us to go to, to Kroger.
Yeah.
Okay. So a human does have something called I'm incomplete, but that's starting off as human thinking. And there are many methods. You like meditation. Some people like prayer. Some people like yoga. Some people like getting drunk. Okay. Oh, hit dog will yell, boy. But anyway, there are many ways that you can begin to, supposedly, the assumption being that you're not there, that you can get closer to Chattanooga, using that example again, okay? But, the truth is you have never left heaven. There's nothing to do.
Actually, we haven't left Chattanooga.
Yeah, and I say that analogy, okay? Infinity never stopped being infinite. Truth never stopped being true. How could truth stop being true and turn into a lie? Okay? It can't. But that's the assumption of human thinking.
We are talking about different entities.
What is?
The different entities, they are those formless. And where we are in the sense of, in the world of formless, we are complete. We feel complete. We feel at peace within the self. Okay. So, and that is another word to say, I am at the being, but I'm in the stillness. And when you're saying, well, there's nothing outside of this, which I can see that the thinking mind is a problem. It is a problem. And we need to be in another different identity to recognize and to be in that awareness that there's a distinction between the being and the thinking mind.
Well, I just got a signal, okay, that we have to wind this up. So I don't really have time to really respond to you. But it is a question. Again, it gets back to how can you have two separate existences, okay, or two or more separate existences? And yes, you can't have obviously two infinities. And I just got to wind this up. So we will take this up next time as we look into the question of, can there be the form and the formless? Can there be somebody and nobody? Keep asking these questions. Is God a nobody? Thank you.